Hi everybody, I just had a few random things that I wanted to put out there for you. Actually just a few minutes ago I just woke up from my meditation. I say woke up because whenever I meditate I usually do fall asleep. And I do my meditations on a daily basis, and it's actually a real blessing to me that I actually fall asleep with them, because I didn't, for a really long time I had so much anxiety and stress in my life that I couldn't even nap at all. And I've become a pretty regular practice in the afternoons of putting on some kind of meditation. The one I was doing right now is, I think, like a pineal gland activation or something like that. I have several that I'm working through at this time. And interestingly, when I wake up from those, I usually have this state of a few minutes time where you're becoming aware and yet not fully awake. And if you work with that time and you consciously kind of intend or ask for, or try to picture images or messages or whatever, it's a really good time for me anyway to utilize that. And so I just thought I'd share some of the things that were coming through to me right now. And one thing that I kept seeing was like this really golden light. Like it looked like almost as if something was like if you took like a gold and make powder out of it, and it just was like cascading all over. And that's what I was seeing a lot of. And I was seeing like the twin pairs in kind of like a lover's embrace, and there would be kind of like this golden light all around them. So that was one thing I was seeing. And then I got in my mind this kind of like a message that said to really work with the golden light right now. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, except that whatever we intend in our thoughts, that's what happens. So as in my kind of meditative state there, what I was really picturing doing was sending that golden light toward our twin. And then I also got that working with Mary Magdalene right now is a really big energy for us, and I think many of you already have begun to do that. And I actually worked last week, spoke with my really good friend Lori, who owns the Pretty Angel Botanicals shop here in town, and she's been like a spiritual mentor to me over the last year and a half. And I had told her about my channeling Mary Magdalene, and she said that she would make a scent for me because she just didn't have a Mary Magdalene scent. And she had ordered some special different essential oils for that. And then when she channeled her, which is how she does it, she'll come up with a fragrance by channeling it. And it was beautiful because on the label of the bottle she put it says Mary Magdalene, and then it's whatever message she comes into her mind. And she didn't really have anything. It wasn't from specifically from me, that I hadn't told her what I understood a whole lot about Mary Magdalene, a little bit, but not much. And the message that she got was the awakening, the love, transformational love or something like that. And I'll later on I'll get that message for you exactly, but I thought it was really appropriate because that is exactly what is happening with our twins right now. Our love for them is transforming them. And so what I was really getting at this, with all of putting these little messages together, is that as we continue to hold this space for our twins in our hearts, and yet from a distance, as we allow this transformation to take place, that the activations that they have been going through, and that was another word that really kept coming into my mind as well, as activations and transformational love is changing them. And then I saw that same golden light, I saw the double helix spiral of the DNA spiraling, and it came to me very clearly that what is going on with them right now is literally physical changes are happening with them as they were activated in, those of which most, I think many of us are working with twins who were activated in April. We were activated as well, and their DNA is literally going through change. And so I thought this was really significant because there's been such a change in my own twin since April. I, told you in my last post that I had gotten confirmation in the 3D that he and his girlfriend did break up at the end of April. Surprise, surprise there. No surprise. And that since then he has cut off communication with me in a way that like he's never done before. It's very odd, because even though I feel like there's been very little communication between us for the last 2 years, we would always have, there would always be communication. Like every couple of weeks, I would be prompted to text him and he would message me back, or sometimes he would initiate it, although not that often. But there was always periods of time would kind of go in chunks where we had back and forth, that we've never been just cut off completely from each other. And he'd assured me, especially within the last 6 to 8 months, he assured me several times, we will always be friends. And so I've gone by that, that the ease that we had with each other, that was, not completely ease, but that there was communication, and I've used that as my guide toward reaching out to him on occasion. But it really shifted since the end of April. He has, like, if I message him, I don't hear anything from him at all. And it used to be that I would eventually hear from him. Like maybe he would wait 2 or 3 days or a week, but then he would always get back to me. And not only that, he's just like, I just feel like this extreme, just, holding back from me. And so with the message that I sent him, I sent it to him last night. I let him know I won't be reaching out to him again, and unless he reaches out to me. And that's like, I'm definitely feeling that I'm guided to do that. And I think as I was putting all of these little pieces together in my mind after waking up from my meditation, is that they are going through really, really serious change. I think that we've all been aware of that, and we've kind of felt that it is the case, but that's what I was getting through more than ever, that this golden light that is, being shed, it's from the divine, but we're also sending it to them. We can kind of work with that same energy as well. We can send it to them additionally. And their DNA is being restructured. They're literally going through serious activation right now, and they don't know what the hell is going on. And their connection, with us is they're not aware. They don't understand the kinds of things that we do. So energetically, this is one of the reasons they're cutting everybody out of their lives right now. It's not just us. And so to be aware of that, that'll, hopefully maybe shed some more light on the situation of what's going on. I will say that I think that the energies that'll be coming in July are really a big, going to have a big effect on continuing to push these, push them through. If we have some twins whose energies are really, stubborn, they're really stuck in where they're at because they have so much healing to do, those energies are going to really, boost things up in another level. And I know that after I had posted the message about the July, 7/17 as the when we really start seeing these new energies come in, which again comes from our star sister Katrina Lucas, who was getting that message, that I had some people asking me, well, how do I work with that energy? And I don't fully know the answer to that. I hadn't really gotten anything specific. I haven't channeled anything on that yet, but I'll just tell you right now that we've already begun to work with that kind of energy. You guys already have, all of us have, that have been awakened. That's the kind of energy that we're utilizing when we're, working with 5D manifesting, working with the 5D, working in it in a sense that what the universe really wants us to understand and wants to, bring in, for us to bring from the 5th dimension down into the 3rd dimension, is that manifesting and working with, loving energies, it's supposed to be easy. And we're breaking down faulty belief systems and faulty energies, and in order to do the new way. The new energy is about things being with ease. And I've really I had this one card come up for me several times in the last week or so, the card Waterfall, and the idea behind the message in the Waterfall Oracle card is that water, when it's going downstream, it just goes. It just falls. And that's what we're being asked to do. We need to work with that energy of just allowing and going with the flow and not forcing. Even if we try to force, like if we try to make ourselves go with ease or allow, that's still like there's still effort there. It needs to be completely effortless. And the universe is trying to teach us that, so that I came from a home and a family where it was like go, go, go and do, and we work really hard. I come from a really hardworking family, and we work really hard so we can play hard, but everything in life is still about really, success comes from super hard work. And it's interesting for me because I've been forced to be so patient with the process of not only my twin coming into my life, but finally getting my business, how we fund it launched, and how I still continue to have delays based on banking issues and getting the merchant account squared away. And I kind of have been forced over the last year and a half to live a life with just a lot less activity, a lot less doing. And the first year and a half of that time, I have had very little money in the way of income, but I've learned how, to really depend on the universe for supplying every need that I had. And then I know that through that process of learning how to just kind of relax and then let things come into your experience and allow things to happen has really shifted and changed kind of the way I do everything. And it's been a step-by-step process, and I know that you guys have experienced this too. I think that most of my clients and most of my listeners have been on this path for at least a year, and many of you for 2 years. It seems like 2 years is kind of a common starting point for us at, really anything after 2012, but especially within the last 2 years, we've been on this pathway, and you look back on it and you've seen one little step at a time, and every little step was like whittling away at all of these faulty beliefs and, making the old go away so that we can have an opportunity to become new. And that process has taught us many, many things, including patience, including allowing and relaxing. And so working with the new energy, actually, that's what it is. It's about allowing the universe to pour in the abundance, because in the fifth dimension, things manifest so easily that it's just literally with a thought, and it's just allowing. It's actually kind of for us in third dimension, in order for us to utilize the energy that way, we actually have to do it by just surrendering. And so putting the thought in having a thought for it, yes, and then other than that, just truly surrendering and allowing the universe to for that energy to make it happen. And I do, because we are still in a third dimension, there is going to be some co-creative action that will take place that works with it. So I'm not saying that you're going to be able to sit on your porch swing 24/7 and expect everything to just magically appear right in front of you. But comparatively speaking, compared to the old way of doing things where everything is based on a lot of effort, that's where we need to shift our thinking so that we can work with the new energy. And then also using, the new energy doesn't want to be used for old energy type of thinking. So if you're trying to use new energy with any kind of old energy kind of thinking, which what I mean by that is, for example, if we take it with your situation with the twin flame, I know that I have some clients who are still pretty early in their twin flame process, where I can totally relate to this, and that is that's that point where you're still in kind of the desperate, needy stage of like, I need to have them in my life, and they're still with their girlfriend, and I went to go talk to him, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with me, and I don't understand why, and I messaged him, and he told me not to message him anymore, and that kind of that space and that energy, that's old energy thinking. That's not unconditional love yet, and it does take a while for the universe to whittle away that out of our experiences. So those of you who are still at that place, trust me, there's no judgment. We've all been there. Any of us who are a little farther on that path, that's what we went through. It got broken down, whittled away, and bit by bit, it was removed from our experience. But that's where if you're still in that frame of mind, you're not going to be able to utilize new energy. It will only be used in the new way of doing things, which is through effortlessness and through everything being based in unconditional love. And so in the case of mission, which is, one of the big ways that we can utilize this energy as well, is that we follow the passion of our heart, because it's whatever whatever we love to do and whatever we're passionate about. So ask yourself what it is that you're the most passionate about, and then don't hold back from dreams. However big you can dream it, that's how big it can become with this new energy that's coming in. I've had in my mind, with how we fund it, I've known that it would be literally enormous, that it will be, and it hasn't even launched yet, but I still knew from the year and a half ago that whatever I would come up with, and I didn't even have the idea yet, and my idea was down here, and where I just could see that it would be was up here as far as this fundraising system for schools and nonprofits, and that it would, what it would look like. I had that in my mind, and it took me a while to get there. I do also know that the universe, or my guides, are telling me that they were actually waiting. They were holding all of the pieces back from coming into my experience in order to, first of all, my personal growth to reach to that level. And then secondly, for the new energy, to be available when we launch How We Fund It. So it's kind of interesting that How We Fund It will be launched right at the same time, finally getting going about the same time as just energy is starting to come in. So I've always known that it would really take off very quickly. And now I understand why. And so, starting with whatever ideas that you have, and then just kind of allowing the pieces to come in one at a time, which is what I've been doing over the last year and a half, and not being impatient with the process. And even if you're only beginning going on ideas and things now, and it still seems like a slow start for you, don't worry about it. There's so much energy that's it's continuing to come in. It's elevating us. We're all being pushed up out of third dimension, well into fourth dimension, and our frequencies are getting into the fifth dimensional frequencies. And by being a fifth, if your frequency and your vibration of your soul vibration, even though that you're in third dimension still, if you're vibrating at a fifth dimensional frequency, then you're even more of a pure channel for using those energies. So keep on doing the personal work. Keep on releasing every time you have more things come up to you that you realize whatever the newest lessons that you need to work on, whatever those things are that you've got to release, and how more you can, fully embody unconditional love. And I do think the spirit guides and angels that they do lead us through this process step by step, because it is, it would be a little too much to have done it all at once. I look at the last 2 years and how far I've come in 2 years. It's actually astounding that, I even did as much as I have in 2 years. But, we certainly, going from the heavy, dense vibrations of third dimension, and then right up into vibrating at fifth dimensional frequencies, nobody can do that overnight. It would be physically impossible. So be patient with yourself, be patient with your twin, because they're going through these changes as well, and they can't be in your presence and in your life right now. Their frequencies aren't even up to where yours are yet. And so I do believe that the work that we've done, and then with the new energies that are coming in, they're going to rapidly accelerate through that process. They're going to have all of these things in their life are falling away. I can't even imagine what my twin must be going through right now with the breakup of this girlfriend who, I feel like it was his last ditch effort on having a relationship that worked, and it just, it fell apart as well. And then everything else in your life is just, seeming like you just can't even handle it. That's why he's not talking to me. It's just, he's so overwhelmed with the stuff that's going on in his life. He can't handle it. And your twin may still be in a karmic relationship. They may be, who knows what it is that they're doing, but be patient with them. And if you're led and guided to reach out to them, then do it. But if you're doing it out of ego, it's probably not going to have the best results. It will be better for you to just hold back and just be sure that whatever it is that you're being guided to do is truly coming from source and from the divine. Know too that sometimes when you're I've had this experience where I was guided to do certain things that I absolutely know that I was supposed to do, and I didn't get any kind of response, and then that brings up more stuff for me to work through. So, you know, sometimes even if we don't see any visible reaction or, you know, something coming back to us, like if you do something and then you are hoping for a certain result and you didn't get it, then just know that that maybe wasn't the reason why you were prompted to do that. You were prompted to do it for some other reason, and you know, you'll find out later why that is. And so I, you know, just do encourage you to continue to do that, and know that ultimately working with the new energy, it really is about release. I had a beautiful message from one of my dear star sisters in Australia who, when I told her what I had done last, you know, just a couple days ago at Priest Lake, she affirmed me. She said, Kimberly, that fifth dimensional manifestation actually happens through, it's different than third dimension. When we're trying to manifest things with third dimensional energy, it's slower, it takes more time, and it's done by, you know, if you listen to Abraham Hicks, it's done by shooting the rocket of desire in the air, and then you know, really feeling it through this heart-centered love that you can just feel yourself having it. You just know that you already have, even if it's not in the physical yet, that it is coming in. That is how we manifest in 3D. But fifth dimensional manifesting is much easier. I mean, like, it can happen instantly, especially with more energy coming in, but it happens through complete release and surrender. It doesn't happen through us even working at it through an effort of this, you know, process that you guys, we have learned, and we learned it does work, especially if you're manifesting something that's meant to be on your soul path. So I thought that was interesting. That was good affirmation. And then the final thing I wanted to tell you is just a fun little, you know, we just love the synchronicities that Spirit gives us, especially when it's from our twin's higher self, when we needed encouragement. And, you know, when I first got to Priest Lake, and I had the first day that I was there, I was feeling really, really down, like just at that point where I'm like, I feel like I'll never hear from my twin again. And it's just, you know, I knew that I wanted to, and I needed to do this complete surrender. And that in doing that, I was going to have to completely let go. Just say, you know, like, this is my last, you know, I'm really just sharing completely raw, vulnerable from my heart, just sharing him everything. And then also deliberately letting him know that, you know, I'm not going to be reaching out to him anymore, and just, I wouldn't want to respect his space. And the first day of that was really tough, because it was, you know, my final letting go of that. And then when I'm in Priest Lake, I cannot stay down. It is magic. It is magic for me. I feel like if I ever was in the worst, lowest, most depressed state of my entire, you know, experience, if I were to go there, it would never last more than 6 to 12 hours. And so by the next morning, I woke up feeling great, and, you know, continued to process things throughout that day. Went for my walk that evening. That was on Monday, so that was on the new moon. I went for my walk that evening, and it really came to me that, or it was the day after the new moon, but it came to me that, okay, I'm ready to do this. And I was just, the whole entire walk, I was just crying and crying. And thankfully there was nobody along the way there, because I was, you know, it was the good kind of crying. It wasn't that sad crying. It was just, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this a lot. And sometimes it's like kind of this overwhelming feeling of gratitude and joy for, you know, these things that are happening in your life, and how you've changed, and this accomplishment, and this becoming so real and so pure and so connected, and that, you know, you're ready for another leveling up. And that's why I was crying. And so I was like, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up really early, and I'm going to go do this recording. And so next morning, and I was sleeping outside. It was kind of hot, so I was sleeping out on the porch with the kids, and with the birds singing and the sun coming up early. It's just hard to sleep past, you know, 4:30 or 5 in the morning. So I woke up before 5 and got going, and was on the trail by 5:30. And as I was walking, I realized that I had a song going through my head, and I realized I've had this song going through my head ever since I've woken up. And it was one of those things which up until that point I hadn't recognized. I don't know if you guys ever do that you just, you know, don't even notice you have a song. And I've known that my twin very often will give me songs in the morning, and the messages of the songs are always, you know, very, very appropriate and meaningful. And this song that was going through my head, I was like, I haven't heard this song. I don't even know when. It was from the like 1980s, and it's Phil Collins, "You'll Be in My Heart." And all I could think of, I couldn't think of any other words except "You'll be in my heart, you'll be in my heart," and I was just having that go over and over in my head. And I later on, when I got home the next day, I looked up all the words to the song, and I added it to my playlist on my video tube on YouTube. Here I have a video playlist of songs that make me think of the twin flame experience, and that you read all the words to that song, and it is totally a message that your twin is singing to you. And I couldn't believe, as I read that there I was going out to give him this message, where I feel like I could very well be telling him the final goodbye that I may never hear or see from him again. And that was the song that he gave me, to have going through my head. I just really thank him for that. So I had another double affirmation about that song though this morning, because my daughter had spent the night with her dad, and then she had come back here in the morning, and she said, "Oh, I was watching Brother Bear last night, and I really, really haven't watched that movie in a long time, and I didn't realize how that message is all about spiritual things. And now that I understand and know the things that I know," because she's, really on the same spiritual path as me, as I've shared everything with her. And she said, it means so much more to me now, that movie. And I was like, that's really great. And then I said, hey, you know what? I have this song that I was just, I told her about the song, and I said, this was the song that, my twin's higher self put into my mind yesterday. And here, do you want to hear it? And so I played it, and then she goes, "That's the song from Brother Bear. I was just watching that last night, and that song is on Brother Bear." And I thought, there you go again, just another nice little reminder of synchronicities and just affirmations again. And so, Spirit, because she said, I was going to watch a different movie last night, and then all of a sudden I thought, I'm going to watch Brother Bear. So, they put that in her mind to watch that movie. It's just another little affirmation, because she's very, very connected to my twin. In fact, she's more closely connected to him even, with past lives than I am. So I just thought I'd share all those things with you guys. I know it was kind of a random mismatch of everything. And the final thing I'm going to let you know is that I have had quite a few people now reaching out to me. They've already had readings with me, whether they were live readings or pre-recorded, whether it was the snapshot, whatever, but they're wanting more information, and another would like to have a follow-up reading. So I thought that over the weekend, so I'll release this tonight or tomorrow, whenever this video comes out. I will release like probably a 3-day special where any returning clients, I will, if you've had a reading with me before, I will give a reading for $55 for a 30-minute live 30-minute live reading for $55. I had extended my live readings to 40 minutes because it's really hard for me to do a 30-minute live reading. In fact, some of you guys have gotten, much longer than even 40 minutes, but I just, that's why I raised the price to $75 for a 40-minute live reading. But if you've had a reading with me already, whether it's live or pre-recorded, I will do a 3-day special where I'll offer a $55 reading and it will be live. We'll do it by Skype or by phone if you don't have Skype, and kind of do some follow-up. And I will say that we will definitely take a look at things that are going on with your twin, and so you can kind of see where they're at. But we do mostly want the focus of your readings to be on you, because there's not a whole lot you can do about your twin, and the more you focus on, what are they doing and where they're at. I know we always want to know that, but that's usually not going to be something that helps you so much, except that, having a little bit of a snapshot of what's going on with them is nice. So I will have information about that in an automatic email. So if you email me about that, follow the steps. Those of you who've had readings with me before know how that goes. And I'm going to be a little bit more careful about how I book those. And so as I fill up a certain number of appointments each day, then that day will be done, and you may not get your reading until later in the week, next week, depending on when you reach out to me and when we get you scheduled. But go ahead and pay for it now, as long as I do that I'll have that open for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, making payments and then booking it. and you can get a little bit of a you know, lower price reading there for follow-up readings. And yeah, just wanted to give you that information. And thank you all so much for watching and subscribing, and much love to everybody. Bye.